Wait, can I start or are you gonna be weird?
Come on.
Oh. Hi, welcome to our birth plan video. We are like in our final 2 weeks here.
2 weeks.
So like you have to be ready now because not everyone makes it to 40. Some people make it past 40. But at this point you just have to know like it could happen.
It can happen any day.
Also, let's start out by saying that we didn't realize birth plans were a thing. I put like a little ask box on Instagram before asking what people would like to see pregnancy topic wise, and a birth plan popped up as a suggestion. So I was like,
is that when you figured out that there was a thing called a birth plan?
Yeah. I didn't know it was a thing, and then I looked on Pinterest and I was like, oh, this is like a serious thing. People write like written formal plans. I can't even say it seriously though. People write, I'm so sorry if you're one of these people, because like I really didn't know that this is a thing. So there are like formal written birth plans, and the details are insane, down to like what type of lighting you want in your room. So let's just start off by saying that our birth plan for this pregnancy, if it could ideally go just how it went last time when we had Lunabelle, I couldn't ask for anything more.
Yeah.
When we were pregnant with Lunabelle, I did not have a birth plan.
Like I said, we didn't know what a birth plan was.
We didn't know it was a thing, and also
a few months ago.
Like I had never been through it before, so I didn't really know what to expect, and I felt like that was a good mindset to be in.
Yeah.
Because just because you want something a certain way, it doesn't mean it will go that way. I think that the main thing that you should figure out is whether you want to have a C-section or a vaginal birth.
Right.
And know that also that might not work out either.
Right.
But ideally,
depending on how things go,
yeah,
you never know.
Ideally, which one would you prefer? So, I guess we can just give some detail on how my previous birth went, since that's how I would love for it to go this time. So a few things, like TV lies. If you're just expecting like your water's gonna break and then you're gonna be like, oh my god, the baby's coming, like that might not happen. Mine did not break. So I never had my water break until I was
already
damn near the end of my labor, right?
And the midwife had to break it for you.
And I never lost a mucus plug. And that's apparently a thing too. People are like, oh, I knew because I lost my mucus plug. The day that I went into labor, it was actually evening. And to be completely honest, when I woke up that morning, I had no idea that I was going to be going to the hospital that night. I woke up, I felt a little bit off. You have several times in your 9th month of pregnancy where you feel off. So I didn't think anything of it. Went to my mom's, just kind of relaxed for the day, and when she made dinner, I didn't really eat. And she was like, why do you have no food on your plate? I had like one little tiny thing, and I was like, I don't feel good. I don't think I can eat. And she was like, oh, you're going to be having a baby. And I was like, what? Like, because I'm not hungry? Like, because I'm not a hungry pregnant person anyway, so
right.
Again, didn't think anything of it. So I barely ate, and that was around like 5:30, and then around like 6:30 I felt a contraction. They weren't far apart, like super far, like, because I think you can have contractions where you could be going to have your baby and they can possibly be like 20 minutes apart from what I read. I think mine were about maybe 10, and it quickly went down to like 7. And I think that's when I texted you. You were working. And I was like, I think that you might want to come to my mom's, because at 5 minutes is like when you're supposed to head out.
Right.
So I was like, I'm having contractions and they're like 7 minutes apart. So you got to like get here. So he came, and we did end up calling like the after hours number. And they were like, yeah, if you're 5 minutes apart, you just go. Now my doctors this time said, I don't need to call them.
Yeah, there's no phone call.
They said if I had any like leakage, like water breaking, blood, or contractions that were 5 minutes apart, go. So yeah, we we went to the hospital and they put me in like the triage room. And I had been tracking my contractions, mind you, from like 6 o'clock, and we didn't get there till probably like after 10,
Well,
10:30, I think.
yeah, we didn't get upstairs until about 10. We were there about 9:30.
No, I don't think so.
Mm.
I think it was
I don't
10ish. But the funny thing is they hooked me up to track my contractions, and nothing happened. I had like one contraction when they first hooked me up, and then nothing. And the nurse kept saying like, "Oh, I think like we'll be sending you home. I'm not seeing anything going on." And like at that point, I'm pissed because I'm like, no, like I have been tracking this. These were 5 minutes apart, and like I know they were. Like I'm not crazy. So she just kept saying like, you don't want to be here anyway. You can't eat while you're here. It would be much better if you're home. Blah blah blah. So the midwife comes in after an hour of them tracking me, and she's like, I'm going to do an internal, and we're just going to see what's going on. And when she did my internal, she's like, you're 5 centimeters. You're halfway there, so we're putting you in a room. And I was like, oh, okay. And then she also was like, I'm not giving you Pitocin. So, like, I had a completely natural birth. So when I say that I want it to be like last time, that's what I'm planning on doing this time. I had nothing except for fluids. So because I was already halfway there and she felt like my progression was fine, she did not give me Pitocin, nothing to speed anything up. And my contractions they suck. But for a while they were bearable. I got a break and it was fine. And then it really did get intense after she broke my water. At that point, I remember feeling hot, and the contractions were so close together that I never felt like I got any relief in between. And I kind of felt like a bit claustrophobic, like you can't breathe. And I did think that I wanted an epidural, but I'm pretty sure I was past that point because I asked about it. And I feel like the nurse was kind of like being a little shady about it because she was like, well, at this point it's probably, 2 a.m.?
Yeah.
And she's like, well, the anesthesiologist isn't here, but I can call him. But I think that she knew that I was like to the point that like I was about to be past that
cutoff
for an epidural.
So
like I don't know if she really called him or not, but
she said she did. And then it came back in the room and said he's on his way.
Yeah, and then literally right after that, I feel like I felt like I had to pee. So like I told her like, I think I have to pee, and she's like, okay, no big deal. Like I can help you get up. I'll walk you to the bathroom, and I'll stay with you the whole time. And I was like, and she's like, well, what's the matter? And I was like, wait, you think I can move? Like you think I can get up and walk? And she was like, can you not? And I was like, no, like I can't feel my whole lower half, like I can't walk. And then she was like, okay, so I don't think you have to pee. I think you are ready to push. Like you're starting to get that feeling that you need to push. So then like, you know, I still thought like maybe I would be getting an epidural, but like now that I didn't have one, I'm glad I didn't have one. Let's just put that out there too. Cause like I'm not planning on getting one this time. And I'll explain why in a minute, but you know, so she's like, I think you're ready to push. Like I'm going to start showing you how to push, and I'm going to get the midwife in. And like, I feel like all these lights came out of the sky, and I was just like, oh, like we're doing this now. Like this is what's happening. Okay. So, you know, the whole pushing process, I feel like wasn't long.
No,
it
didn't seem.
My memory of it is, you're in so much pain, by the way.
Yeah,
your
adrenaline is pumping.
So like,
an hour feels like 5 minutes.
I asked
but I feel
Steve, like how long was it?
I feel like it was about an hour
Mm-hmm.
From the time they like had you all set up and to the time she came out.
Okay, so it's not long.
No, I mean not really, and you're not pushing constantly. Like you push,
and then you have to stop, and then you like I would tell them like I feel like I need to push again, and they would say okay, and they would help me up, and we'd push, and I feel like the midwife was going like push, stop. Mm-hmm. Like she would tell me when to stop.
They kind of walk you through it and kind of just talk you through it because they know how to do it.
Yeah. So the reason I'm glad I didn't get an epidural is because like when I really felt like I needed it, like at that point that I was like, oh my God, this really hurts. The pushing feeling came right after that. I mean, it was so soon after that, and your pain shifts. Like it's different. Like you have this, when you're in the middle of your contractions and it's intense, you have this feeling in your stomach and you feel like you want to escape your body. Like you're trying to crawl out of your skin. But then when you get the pushing feeling, you don't feel that anymore. You just feel like this pressure. But that pressure also gives you this feeling of like relief. Like there's an end at the light of the tunnel. When you're in the midst of those contractions, you feel like it's never going to end. Like you feel like this is what you're going to be stuck in this. But then when you get that pushing feeling, you are like, okay, like we're getting somewhere. Like you can feel the baby moving.
It's like a different type of pain. Also,
yeah, and
it's more like it's not a
the pain
sharp
is not that sharp feeling.
contraction,
The
it's more
pain
of a
is like
pressure.
now in your vagina, and it kind of burns down there.
Oh.
But the pressure like feels good, kind of. Like to be honest, it feels exactly like the pressure feeling, like you have to poop, and
I
then
like
like
that
you
feeling.
feel that relief when you're able to push that out. So like it's just different, and it just happened so soon after like that intense pain that like I'm glad I didn't get it, because also having an epidural can make that whole process last longer. So like we pushed, and the worst part about that was Lou's cord was wrapped around her neck twice. So they call that, I was telling Steve the other day, they call it the ring of fire, from like, because it burns, and like the head and shoulders thing is very burny. But
It's a good way to explain it.
so I had to stop on her shoulders, which is like, that's the worst part, the shoulders. And I had to stop and wait for them to unwrap her. But I feel like it was kind of like a blessing in disguise, because I didn't have to have any stitches. And that's the only thing I feel like I don't have control over this time. Like I can say that I don't want Pitocin, I can say I don't want an epidural and I want to have a natural birth, but I can't control what happens as far as like whether or not I will need stitches. So we'll have to play that by ear. So she was born at 4:37 in the morning, right? And I got moved up to my room right around 6. And I remember when my nurse was like getting me all ready to go up to my room, she said to me, by the way, if you had that epidural, you would still be pushing right now. And I was like, ew. So I'm glad I didn't have it. But that, if this time could go just like last time, that would be great. I don't know if it will. And I feel like you have to be prepared for anything. Like, obviously, I want to have like a vaginal birth, but if there was some sort of emergency and we had to have a C-section, it is what it is. You can feel free to look up these birth plans if you want. It's just, it's a lot, and I just don't know who is doing that. Like, I can see saying like, well, right now it's COVID, so like, Steve's
you can't have anybody.
You
in your
can't
room
have
except
anybody.
One person.
Yeah, so Steve will be the only person in my room, but I can see saying like, these are the people I want in my room, or like these are the visitors that I would like to have, or whatever. But I feel like, especially if it is your first time going through it,
you can't have
not to have too many plans and
you
expectations.
can't have plans and expectations, especially on something you really don't know the outcome, or you don't know that like what's going to happen with all different variables, and your body can just say, no, we're not doing this.
Yeah, like I had no idea, and I wasn't, like I said, I was open to the epidural idea. I wasn't set on like I'm getting one or I'm not. I was just like, you know, we'll see how it feels, and if I feel like it gets to the point where I cannot take this, I'll get one.
But by that point, it was too far.
Yeah, and it didn't work out for me, and I'm okay with it, and now I'm choosing not to get one.
Yeah.
So, you know, is it the most intense thing you'll ever experience in your life? Yes, but I did it completely naturally, and I'm choosing to do that again. So, like, I don't know how to explain like why I feel that way, but like I just remember feeling like, well, all these animals do this by themselves, you know, or like women, and like since the beginning of time have done this. Like I feel like my body will just know what to do, and like honestly it did. And like after you're done, you're just kind of like, oh, like not only did I grow this entire thing for 9 months, but like my body is completely capable of doing like things that I never even imagined were possible. So it's like pretty cool, like a pretty cool feeling. So I think that's also why I want to do it again. Like I kind of want to feel all that again.
It's a feeling of accomplishment.
Yeah, like I kind of want to feel all that again, because I felt like so strong afterwards. Like I was just like, oh, no one can mess with me now. Like I pushed a baby out on my own, like completely natural. Like I don't want to hear anything from anybody. But you do feel this sense of like empowerment after. So, anything else as far as like a birth plan that you could think of that we didn't mention? I mean, I pretty much just am giving you a story of how mine went and saying I want to do that again if possible.
I don't know. I just think birth plans are silly because you can't
plan. He didn't see the Pinterest thing that I showed him until last night.
I saw a couple of them. But
and I was showing him like other people's birth plans because I didn't know what they were.
I don't think this is a thing that you can plan. Like we plan a lot of things.
I am a planner.
I'm a very detail-oriented person.
And I didn't plan.
You can't plan something where you don't know a definite outcome and you don't know what can go wrong, when it's going to go wrong, if it will go wrong.
Right, because like something could happen in the middle of my labor and they might be like, you need an emergency C-section, and what am I going to say?
And you're going to
my birth plan said that I want a natural vaginal birth. Like, what am I going to do? If the baby's in jeopardy or me, we're doing what we have to do.
Well, not even that. Like, something down to something as simple as they want this type of music playing. The doctor says, no, we're not going to have music.
I don't think I could have had music.
And, like, you're going to flip out because you can't have music?
You can ask Steve.
Or they'll tell you to put headphones in?
I didn't want anyone touching me.
Because you can't hear what's going on?
I wasn't that person who was like, can you hold my hand? Steve, like, he didn't really know what to do, like, especially when your wife is having these contractions and you're just standing there. There's nothing you can do. Like, he kept trying to be nice, and I was like, just don't touch me. Like, I'm good. I just want to be left alone because, like, I was so hot and uncomfortable, and the last thing I wanted was someone, like, the only thing I wanted was ice chips, like, here and there. That's the only thing I cared about, like, because you start to feel dry. Mm-hmm. But, yeah, I think, and also keep in mind, I did not do any birthing classes. I did want to say that, too. I know that they suggest them, and I don't really know why. I have actually been to 2 with someone before, like, way before we had a kid. And, like, I remember sitting there and being like, I just feel like it was weird. And they had them writing some of their wishes and stuff for, like, a birth plan. I didn't realize what that was at the time. They just had, like, one or the other. Like, do you prefer a vaginal or C-section or this or this? And then they were like, keep in mind, it might not go like that. And so, like, when it came time for me, I was like, I'm not doing that. Like, I'll be able to figure this out. Like, my body will figure this out. And it was fine. I didn't go to any. I haven't gone to any this time. I don't think it's necessary. So don't feel pressured to, like, go to them if you don't want to. Because
even if you don't know what to expect.
No, I had no idea.
First-time parent.
But I feel like
neither of us knew what to expect.
No, and
that's
my
the fun of being a parent, midwife, is to just do it and figure it out.
The nurse that we had was great, and she really, like, coached me on everything. But between her and the midwife, like, I knew exactly what to do. They were telling me what to do. They were walking me through it as it was happening. So it's not like you're going to get in there and be clueless. Like, they're telling you exactly what you need to do.
Yeah.
Because I remember at one point she's like, she's like, breathe. I need you to breathe. Because, like, I probably wasn't. I was, like, in so much pain, like, or whatever, pushing or focus.
To push and holding your breath while you're pushing. And
you're not supposed to do that. Yeah. But it's hard to breathe while you're pushing. Yeah. But she was like, I need you to, like, take a breath. So, like, you know, she was good. She was great. But, yeah, if you watch my hospital bag video, I'm a minimalist. And I'm a planner, and I am very detail-oriented with a lot of things in my life. But I'm also, like, a minimalist where, like, if there's too much stuff going on or too many options for things, I get overwhelmed and I don't know what to pick. And, like, so I just keep it very simple. Yeah, so, like, I survived, and I was fine. And I think that's it.
So a birth plan is there is no plan. End of story.
Yeah, I think it is important to decide if you want to have, like, a natural or C-section.
Well, that's just...
because some people plan their C-sections
when you're 3 months pregnant.
Yeah, but as far as going any further than that, I don't think anything more than that is necessary. Unless you're like me now, where I'm like, I don't want drugs. I'm good. Like, I didn't even take Motrin after.
Yeah, but you don't need to put that in writing and have your lawyer look over it and get it notarized and put it in a manila folder. Like, it's unnecessary.
When I was reading them,
you just tell somebody when you get there, I don't want Pitocin and I'm not doing an epidural. So let's get this show on the road.
Yeah. Like, and I also, like, felt like when I was reading them, like, the nurse has to cringe if someone hands at them.
Probably. I feel like birth plans are made for Pinterest.
Maybe.
What other reason is to show
to have like a list of
to show off what your wishes and desires are than to put it on social media? Because that's
that
the people
might be.
that might pretend to give a shit.
Yeah, that might be because I really, like I said, I had no idea it was a thing, and I don't really have a plan this time. I'm planning on having a completely natural, drug-free birth, and hopefully it goes my way. But that's it, I think. I mean, I don't have anything else to say about giving birth.
Good luck.
Yeah, just good luck, and you just want it to be safe.
Yeah.
And for everybody to like get through it, and everybody to be okay on the other end, and that's it. I mean, you just want everyone to be healthy, all said and done. So hopefully, we have a little baby to show you soon.
Yeah, this might be the last video that we're doing. We might have one more video up before.
Yeah, I'm trying to just really relax and lay low, so I don't plan on doing much vlogging from here on out. I'm just really trying to chill. I'm not going anywhere. I'm just sitting at home and soaking up my time with Lou, and that's it.
Yeah.
Just relaxing because I need to. So thank you for watching. I'm sorry if you're not interested in birth plans and I was talking about blood and vaginas, but it is what the reality is. But if you were one of the people that were interested in a birth plan, maybe this will help you, and maybe it'll also make you feel less overwhelmed, because I feel like once I started looking into them, I could see now why people wanted to hear about it, because when you look at them and you're reading some of this stuff, you're kind of like I felt overwhelmed. Yeah, I felt overwhelmed, and it's something I've been through before. So I don't want anybody to feel overwhelmed. I just want you to be open-minded to living in that moment, and it's okay to make a decision in the moment. You don't have to make all these decisions ahead of time. But that's all, and I'm saying this and take it lightly. We are planning on doing some recording, like when I go into labor.
Yeah, like
I don't know.
Ride.
We are not going like.
There's no plan.
There's no plan.
What we're doing. I'm the video guy.
You might just see the car ride and me walking into the hospital, and I might be like, "We're done." But you know, if I feel comfortable or I feel okay, I will let Steve like kind of record a little bit of how that goes. And we can always talk about it afterwards, how it went too. We will not be showing anything graphic. No. And if I am wanting to crawl out of my skin, I don't know if I'll be wanting that filmed. But either way, we will let you know how it goes afterwards, depending on how far we can get with recording that day. But thank you so much for watching. Thanks for like following our pregnancy journey.
Yeah.
And that's all. We hope that you can see our little baby soon, and I'm done being pregnant at this point, so.
I think you're just happy to almost be done.
Yes. I'm really happy to almost be done. Bye.
See ya.